"Get in the car," the man said quietly, his tone calm, but his eyes cold as steel. Rain poured down around them, soaking her trembling hands as she clutched her purse tighter. She didn't know him. She didn't even know his name. But something in his voice, that deep, commanding tone, made her freeze. Before we dive in, if this story touches your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because sometimes a story can change the way we see people forever. Her name was Emily Carter, 27 years old, a waitress working the late shift in a downtown cafe, living paycheck to paycheck. Her smile was always polite, but behind it lay exhaustion, heartbreak, and a secret she never told anyone. She was running from her past. The man who stood before her now, tall, dressed in a tailored black coat, with eyes sharp enough to slice through lies, was Ethan Blake, the city's youngest self-made CEO. People called him the silent millionaire. He rarely spoke, never gave interviews, and always seemed detached from the world. But tonight his silence held urgency. "Get in the car," he repeated, stepping closer. Emily hesitated, glancing toward the empty street. Her shift had ended an hour ago, and she had taken a shortcut through the back alley. The same alley now swallowed by rain and shadows. Suddenly, a flicker of light caught her eye, headlights at the far end, moving too slow, too steady. "Please," Ethan said again, his tone lower now, almost pleading. "You need to trust me." Something in his voice cracked the wall around her fear. Against every instinct, Emily climbed into his black SUV. The moment the door shut, Ethan hit the gas, tires slicing through puddles as they sped into the night. Her heart pounded. "Who are you? Why are you doing this?" He didn't answer immediately. His jaw clenched, eyes fixed on the mirror. Behind them, the same car that had been creeping in the alley was now following, headlights glowing like a predator's eyes. "They were watching you," Ethan said finally. "They've been watching you for days." Emily's stomach dropped. "What? Who?" He turned toward her, his voice steady but urgent. "Do you remember the man who used to come to the cafe every Friday? The one who sat at table 5. Emily froze. Of course, she remembered, middle-aged, polite smile, always tipped generously. "Yes, he stopped coming 2 weeks ago." Ethan nodded. "He was an investigator. He found something about the people you used to work for before the cafe. The finance company." Her heart squeezed tight. That company had gone bankrupt 2 years ago. She'd left after discovering shady dealings in their accounts, but before she could report anything, her boss disappeared. And soon after, threats began. Strange calls, someone following her home. And finally, a letter that simply said, "You talk, you disappear." Emily whispered, "They found me." Ethan's eyes softened for the first time. "Yes, but I found you first." The chase intensified. The car behind them sped up. Ethan swerved off the main road and took a hidden dirt path leading to a cliffside road. The rain blurred everything. "Hold on," he said. Seconds later, a gunshot shattered the back window. Emily screamed and ducked. Ethan stayed focused, hands gripping the wheel like iron. Finally, he turned sharply into an abandoned warehouse lot, killed the engine, and motioned for silence. They sat in darkness, only the rain tapping on metal. The other car passed, its lights vanishing into the distance. Emily's hands shook. You could have been killed. Why would you do this for me?" Ethan looked at her, his face no longer cold, but tired. "Because I owed your father my life." Her breath caught. "My father? You knew him?" He nodded. "David Carter. He saved me when I was nobody. He gave me a job when I was living on the street. He believed in me before I ever believed in myself. When your parents died, I promised I'd protect you, even if you never knew me." Tears blurred her vision. She'd never expected to hear her father's name again. Not like this. But why didn't you tell me? She whispered. Because you had to build your own strength, Ethan said softly. You had to find out who you were without anyone saving you. But tonight they were going to take you. I couldn't let that happen. For a long moment, they sat in silence, two broken souls bound by fate and loyalty. The storm outside began to ease, and the faint glow of dawn touched the horizon. Later that morning, police arrived. Men Ethan had secretly contacted from his network. The people who had been hunting Emily were arrested, and the truth about her old company's crimes came to light. Her name was cleared completely. When the reporters asked how a billionaire CEO got involved, Ethan simply said, "Some debts aren't paid with money." Weeks passed. Emily began a new life. Working in the corporate social arm of Ethan's company, helping rebuild lives through charity and education. The once silent CEO now had a purpose beyond profit, and the woman he once saved was now teaching him how to live again. One evening, as the city lights shimmered across the skyline, Emily stood beside him on the rooftop of the Blake Corporation. "You know," she said with a smile, "for a silent CEO, you talk a lot these days." He chuckled, a sound rare and genuine. "Only when it's worth talking." She looked at him, eyes soft. "Thank you for saving me." Ethan turned toward her, his expression unreadable but warm. "No," he said quietly. "You saved me from living without meaning." The camera of life pulled back, rain now replaced by golden light, two people standing side by side, both survivors of pain, both proof that even in silence, compassion can roar louder than words. If this story moved your heart, take a second to like, subscribe, and share. Because somewhere out there, someone might just need to hear that hope still exists, and kindness still saves lives.